Hello, everybody. I've got Maria, beautiful Maria Golding, with us today.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Maria.
Yeah.
It's nice and warm over there, isn't it, in Queensland?
Oh, yes, up in Brisbane. It's beautiful, warm day. I'm
Yeah,
loving this weather. I'm very appreciative to live up here.
I know. You're so lucky. Well,
Yeah.
it's windy here in Perth too, but it's cold
Yeah.
today. But
Yeah.
that aside, Maria, I want to just introduce you.
Mhm.
And today we want to talk about the mental load, which I wrote a post on recently. But you've got some great experience in it, and also, some practical tips on what we can do and why it's really important in this day to lift that, which can be a really heavy load, and how we can do that. So I'll just give a little bit of background to everybody. You are a motherhood mentor, a mental health professional, a previous midwife, and the creator of your fabulous online program, the Intuitive Motherhood Program. Is that right? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is kicking off soon on the 24th of October, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a wonderful space for supporting mothers. It's amazing. Your work is fantastic. I'm very very respectful and have deep admiration for all that you do, Maria. It's awesome.
Oh, thank you very much, Kate. And likewise.
So let's talk about the mental load. And as we were talking just before we jumped on, why are we so passionate about this? And I think part of that is our own personal experience, but particularly yours. Would you like to just share a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Okay, so in early 2014, I was diagnosed with renal cell carcinoma, which, so it's a large tumour on my left kidney, which was really starting to move out into the fatty area around it, and it was serious. They had concerns about some of my gynecological area as well, whether there was anything there as well. So I spent about a week not knowing actually whether I had metastatic cancer or whether it was isolated to the kidney. And so I had to use a lot of practices to manage my mental load in that week. And then I ended up having surgery and had that whole kidney removed, and went on a journey of healing. So really through changing the way I ate, even though I was very healthy anyway, I was the last one in my family of 7 that were expected to be unwell. I was also, quite conscious in a lot of ways, and so it was a big shock. But I really needed to up-level everything, and so I spent a year cleansing, in a nourishing way, not in a deprivation way. I ended up, changing some of the foods that I ate. I went down the Ayurvedic route with the doctor there. I also then did some more practices around meditation. I got really focused and very clear on my program around using my meditation, mindfulness practices. So everything that I was teaching my mothers, I had to really ramp up in myself. And the good news is that I'm clear of cancer, and I've had regular checkups to make sure of that, and I'm doing really well. So not only did I have that experience, but I also found I also wired myself up for a deeper level, or a better skill set around just managing life and enjoying life more.
And what was your prognosis initially?
Well, the prognosis, it was fine. If, like, I think it was around 80% with the surgery. The other area, then there was a pre-existing, there was another concern a year later, because some of my cancer markers had started to go up, and that was more in the gynecological area. But that's why then when I ramped up my practices even more, I even went to an Ayurvedic hospital in India and had intensive cleansing and treatment, and now everything's back within normal range. In actual fact, the last test that I had was showing that everything's even improved than what it was before. So clearly I'm doing a lot right.
Fantastic. That's awesome. I'm so pleased to hear that, Maria.
Yeah. Thanks, Kate.
how different is your life now compared to when you were first diagnosed? Like looking back, can you see now that there were things that you were doing that were antagonizing the, the illness or the...
Well, I think that I have, I had some, I think that I've actually managed my mindset and my emotional stuff better. It's like I've broken through another level of healing, in the sense that, there's some emotional triggers that I had that would have gone right back almost from the day dot. So possibly some self-esteem things and some issues that I ended up clearing out through the process of doing these practices around meditation, mindfulness, and self-awareness.
Yes.
So yeah, I think I feel a lot clearer, I feel more buoyant than I am. I feel free to actually shine more into my potential than I was. There was just this underlying little niggle that was happening that I think was holding me back from reaching my full potential and being fully expressed as who I am. That my diet's definitely changed. I feel way less, I don't have that bloating in my tummy anymore. I feel like the foods that I eat are nurturing and nourishing. Even though I was having healthy, this feels a little bit more suitable to me. And I don't have any hesitation having my voice and saying what I believe in. Just have that more inner confidence to be myself. And it's like when you feel like you don't know how long you're going to live for, that nothing matters anymore. So those things that would hold me back and think I'll do that another day, or that can wait till later, has pretty much gone. And I feel like I have to seize the moment more. And so I am doing that. I'm doing that as much as I can, and much more ready to bring who I am and say what I want to say than I used to be.
So in all that you did, we were talking about the mental load.
Yeah.
How important was it to, and look, to be honest, the mental load we both talked about is quite a relatively new term that we haven't been familiar with.
Yes, it wasn't what I've been aware of. I understand we have all this crazy mind stuff, but I hadn't seen it termed that before.
And I think in the past I've actually referred to things like the mother load, because as
okay,
to be a little heavier, busier. But in terms of all that you did, how important was lightening that mental load?
Oh, it was absolutely everything. So what I found was my healing. There was a lot of incredible things that happened around the healing. There was insights that came to me. There was really interesting dreams that I had. Lots of things happened around my healing. And the biggest thing that I would say to people is that the core of the changes that happened, yes, I needed to support my body with the right foods and herbs. I needed to support it with the right movement. I needed to have change, really watch my mindset, which I was very vigilant on, surround myself with people that supported that. But it was also, I noticed that the meditation practices and my ability to drop through to another level of awareness was the big shift that happened. It was like the key point, the key thing that shifted everything into me dropping those cancer markers down the second time and being able to, being able to be in this place where I am right now.
Fantastic. Although I'm sorry to hear that it took the diagnosis.
That's right.
And again, there's a gift in it,
And look, and right from the start, Kate, I'm so aware of, I've been on such a long spiritual journey anyway, and self-awareness journey or personal development journey anyway, that I'd already built up a set of tools to manage negative things or difficult things in life. So I went in with the whole diagnosis with a sense of, you know what, there's gold in this.
Yes.
I really did. Like I went into the hospital saying to the surgeon, I'm coming in from, like I played this whole game with myself because I knew how powerful our mind and our brains are. Because I understand that I've been studying all the neuroscience and I've been coaching mothers around this anyway. So I had to live it. And so I went into the surgery saying to him, okay, so I'm in here for my beauty treatment, and just playing this whole game where we were, to the nurses, everyone's just like, okay, so have you got everything ready? And I remember just before I was wheeled into the operating theatre, he was saying, do you know what's going to happen? I said, look, absolutely. And I know I'm in such capable hands, and I just want can you make sure that, you leave, that you do this beauty treatment, so you leave me looking really beautiful on the inside and the scar on the outside. So I was just, just playing with him, and we were having fun around it. So I knew this was creating a charge of positive neurochemicals in my bloodstream. I knew it would help better healing. I knew it would help just really better healing and quicker healing. And it kept me in a positive mindset, and it also kept a connection with him, that I'm a real person. And I think that really helped. I felt like I wasn't just a piece of meat on the operating table. I felt like he was treating me like a real person, and I felt like the staff were as well. And just this whole vibrational energy of support was incredibly healing and nurturing, and not just a fun thing, but actually a really powerful tool.
Wow, great, amazing, Maria. But it's that mindset. So what else? I guess maybe there's a few things that you've done to shift the mood. Can you give us the top few things? And I guess also before that, though, take it for me or any mum, busy doing a lot of different things.
Yep.
How do we make the time to do this? Because there's so much on that we're juggling, and the post that I wrote recently, a lot of it is an inherited belief. There's a lot of societal things that are going on that have kind of shaped the way we are juggling so much. But what do we do? How do we make the time for it?
Well, I think first of all, we just need to reframe it, and instead of feeling like it has to be something separate from what we're normally doing, is to actually incorporate it in our day. So yes, sometimes it might be worth getting up 15 minutes early and putting on something to listen to that's going to shift our negative mindset and really give us a positive sense to the day, which might be inspiring music, it might be mantras, to walk to get up and just move around the house, to start doing the housework early, listening to something inspiring. So that's not necessarily going to take any extra time. It's really taking tiny little bites, starting with tiny little bites, and knowing that is actually going to make a difference. So it might be that we would think, look, a 10-minute dance break or a 2-minute dance break might be useful. So we know that we love music. We know that moving our body is actually really good for releasing feel-good chemicals for our brain, and helps us get out of that negative, heavy worry that holds us down, that makes things worse, makes us react negatively towards everyone, our kids, and then there's their behavioural, and it's creating all this extra work for us and extra time that we are giving into managing behaviours and feeling bad about our relationships and all that sort of stuff. It's really about slowing down and doing little self-nourishment bites for ourselves. And that can be as simple as slowing down and taking a breath and noticing, sorry, I'll just turn this off. Noticing our breath and just sensing our body on the earth, looking out and seeing the tree and seeing three things that are sensory appealing. It might be the green leaves and seeing them blow in the breeze. It might be just touching our sorry about this, I'm going to give you a phone call from my best friend. It might be, it's really just about coming out of our heads and into our bodies and giving ourselves some time in for ourselves. I could go on and on, but Kate, I just feel like little moments of that 3 times a day or twice a day. I teach a practice called the embodiment practice where we do that with breath. We sense into our body, we sense into our heart, we check into our mind and we see what's going on there, and then we tweak it to feel better. And just by doing that, we're going to stop that mental load drain, and we're going to tweak and start giving ourselves bursts of energy, bursts of positivity, bursts of love and good feelings, which make a big difference.
Make a big difference. And I think in my own personal experience, by just putting on some music, and quite often my son will just put on some music and it changes the vibe instantly.
Yeah.
Or what I also love to do is first thing in the morning with the kids, because if they're kind of on top of each other and sibling carry on arguing,
Yeah.
If we go for a walk around the block or take the dog out, their energy changes instantly. Like, they are so much calmer as soon as we come in. It's amazing. They'll go off and do their own things, and it's that connection with nature, just shifting that mental, the kind of it's almost like tumbleweed. It just kind of spirals and keeps going, doesn't it? It takes something to shift it. And
absolutely.
Nature and, as you say, being outside or even looking at trees, just that instantly is calming, like the breath.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own, it's like not having to be the same as me or you, but actually finding what is it that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And just asking, so say to the mamas out there, just ask yourself, what makes me feel good? Yeah. And just write that down in your journal, and then you're having it on the fridge.
Yeah.
And you know that you're going to do one thing every day.
Yeah, perfect. And it's also time from our busy schedules to check in with how we feel. When you're busy doing from one thing to the next, it's hard to remember or check in with how you're feeling.
So a way to do that, it can be a check-in to feel good. It can be like, let me check in and do something that feels pleasurable or feels good. And that is what the breath can be. It's what looking and just seeing something beautiful, or taking a smell of your aromatherapy oils, or just noticing a flower, or noticing putting on a bracelet, or whatever it is. Listening to some music, a song, just for 2 minutes, whatever it is that will make you feel good. And you can put reminders on your phone, so you've got one in the day that you're just going to do that one in the day. But you can also do it as a game, and I did a video blog on this last week, actually, a game where you have your children involved, and you say to your children, okay, we're going to do one thing that feels good for each of us. And you write it up, and everyone's going to help input what will make you feel good, what will make you feel good. And mum comes first, so you put your name up the top, and you're always first by your name because you're a person, right? So we're going to start teaching our children to see you as important, that it's important for you to manage your mental load. And so you're going to put what thing you're going to do for you, and then you're going to write theirs underneath. And then we're all going to check in at the end of the day and make sure we've done that for each other.
Yeah, perfect. So it's interesting, we were talking also before we jumped on, Maria, about men, talking about putting mum first, and that we are people as well, because that's the other thing with motherhood, is that there's that dependency or independence that we lose when kids arrive, and then to kind of regain that independence is true.
Yes.
But in saying that relationship and dynamic with our men, because men, they equally carry that mental load. And
absolutely
mental load, because I think they're kind of more singular in how they process things, and don't multitask as much, and also generally not worrying about the household stuff and managing the family and kids' activities. But it is recognizing that there is that mental load for them too, and if we kind of lift our mental load, it's going to naturally kind of help lift their load a little bit, and to be cognizant of that, I think.
Absolutely. Look, I really came to the realization as a mother that as a woman and the mother, I held the tone in the family.
Yeah, totally.
And I'd fought against that for a while, but then someone just said it, and I'm like, you know what, you're right. We hold a tone. And, well, that's my sense anyway. And we can only be responsible for ourselves anyway, in our own vibration, our own energy, our own tone.
Yes.
And we know that our children are very connected to us in the sense of very sensitive to our nervous system, particularly when they're young. So they really notice, and they really feed off our tone, our energy, our nervous system. So the more that we can up-level ours, which takes us what I call brain states, it takes us to the green brain state. So we give ourselves what we can to feel in the green brain states. The more that it impacts not only our children and feeds them and helps them calm, but it also does the same for our partner. Like, they are really affected by how we are as well. Now, we may think by just doing everything for our partner, then that's helping them. But, that can be a pattern of martyrdom. It can be a pattern that leads to resentment.
Yeah.
It can be something it's really missing the mark.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that we really need to bring awareness to really filling ourselves up, but having our voice, communication with our partner, and also knowing that the connection that we have with our partner, the real connection, is actually what's going to fill them up. It releases oxytocin when we feel really heart connected. Not just someone's doing something for us all the time and they've got everything done for us. Like, that might be what we believe our husbands want, but actually they want to feel connected to us. And I think that helps their mental state and their mental load as well. And when we can break down the barriers that we've built up around resentment towards our partners and start communicating and stop playing passive-aggressive games and withholding it, or like even sexually, a lot of women withhold themselves. And I'm just saying we can use a lot of passive-aggressive stuff that doesn't serve the relationship. When we can start working and being more honest and really taking responsibility for our own energy, then I believe that we're going to help our partners as well.
It's a really good point, Maria. And is it okay?
Yeah, I'm just saying that my boys are just coming in. Yeah, I think they're going to be quiet for me, which is good.
I think it's that role modelling that we are demonstrating to our children as well. Because I consider that everything that I'm doing, I'm role modelling to the kids. So we're role modelling how to interact in a relationship to them as well. And even if we kind of go through the motions and the actions, it's the energy, as you say, that they're picking up on as well. So it's not for our kids in terms of nourishing them and getting them to bed early and lots of activities, but really at the end of the day, that relationship between each other is probably the fundamental thing that we
is
giving and showing them. It's hard, it's not till we have this kind of conversation that you reflect on that, or I reflect on that.
Yeah, well, it's really, our brains have evolved to be connected. So we're connected beings, and we're not really living fully when we don't feel connected. Yeah. And when we are connected, we have all these beautiful neurochemicals flushing through our system and our brains, and we feel good. Those times when you feel good, like it's that feeling of falling in love, is that feeling of feeling like someone gets me. And do you when you fall in love, like you feel like you can get up early and you can do things and you've got so much energy and that shifts the mental load, right? It doesn't really matter how much you have to do. It really is about how I feel and how connected I feel to myself, to my children, to my partner, to my friends, whoever. I feel like that's probably one that we need to really look at.
Totally. And as you say, it's a ripple effect, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's so important that we shift that mental load so we have the energy. And so for me, one of the great measures of well-being is our energy. And if we're carrying that heavy, and also then we're not wanting that intimate relationship with partners either. You know, we're snapping at the kids and we are carrying that mental load. So, you know, some practical tips. We've talked about meditation, taking a breath, taking time for ourselves. You know, something I also heard an interview, and I can't remember who it was, but also juggling a career, kids, family, home. And she described how she basically wrote down everything that was on her mind and that she was responsible for in the home. And also for her husband, partner, they just wrote it all down.
Yeah.
Sounds like quite a laborious process, but,
yeah.
but then they could see on paper the disproportionate kind of activities and responsibilities, and then work through it rationally. So, you know, there is that element to it as well, as, you know, taking responsibility in the mindfulness and morning routine and that kind of thing.
Absolutely. It's coming from all facets, isn't it? And yeah, working out it's really about, sometimes we need to even have a pause and just go like, I'm just going to, as you said, write it all down, or write down what's the one thing I'm going to do to shift this at the moment, and then keep working towards the next thing and the next thing. And part of that can be just about even just letting go and just deciding that I'm not going to be so rigid about some things. I'm not going to be so obsessive about certain things, or so cleanliness focused about. I'm just going to let some things go so I can receive for me and just rest.
Yes, absolutely. And as hard as it is, it's so important, isn't it, for everybody? But
yeah.
Most importantly, for everybody.
Yeah.
Maria, so just to sum up, what are the key things in your experience and with mothers, the key messages, like one or two messages that you'd like to leave people with?
Okay, so I think there's no time like now to decide to shift something to feel better. No,
your body will tell you.
Yes, we know that our bodies, our minds, our emotions, and our spirits are all interrelated.
Yeah.
So whichever way you want to come and change, start shifting things for yourself, you choose whatever way you want to come in with.
And to think of it as an experiment, you know, just try one or two things and
yes,
it works, and if it works and it's fun and you enjoy it,
yes,
make it part of a routine. It becomes Okay, great. Is there any?
And I know what I do if I don't get to meditate sometimes, like I might just listen to something, because a lot of the time our worried mind can start with worries, and then if you notice that happening and you don't have time to meditate, then just listening to something positive. So you can just go on YouTube or listening to your favorite meditation person or anyone, and just listen while you're doing what you have to do. Then, and listening to meditations when you meditation when you're at night when you're lying with your child, both of you listen to it.
Yes. Oh, good idea. Great idea. What's your favorite meditation or mood lifter changer?
Look, I have two young adult sons who are in their 20s, and one of them particularly likes the Deepak and Oprah ones, which I used to like as well. I change what I listen to. I've created some meditations myself, and I listen to really, I actually do a lot of my own meditation now, so I don't necessarily listen to meditations anymore, but I might listen to inspiring speakers to help shift my mindset.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your favourite inspiring speaker?
Wow, that goes across the board as well.
I listen to Sean Croxton's Quote of the Day show.
Okay.
He interviews people like Wayne Dyer, Lisa Nichols, like a whole range of different speakers.
Yes. Those type of speakers are great. Yeah.
Oh, well, Maria, thank you so much for your time. We better wrap up. But
Yes.
before we do, I just want to tell everybody about your amazing program that you've got coming up, Intuitive Motherhood Program.
Yeah.
It starts on the 24th.
25th, actually.
So, and can you tell us a little bit about that? Or
Sure. Yeah, it's over 8 weeks. It's online, and it's really my life's work, where it brings in all of the basic foundations that a mother needs to be effective in her parenting. So it blends the latest science and intuitive wisdom, so that it covers everything, but I put it in very step-by-step, simplistic ways, so that mothers can take practices and skill sets so that they feel they can lose their guilt, really the mother guilt, and feel like they know what to do to be connected to their child and have the boundaries that they need and their children need as well. It's half of it's about skill sets for the children, and half of it's about working on ourselves and how we can up level ourselves as well. So yeah, it's all of my best stuff brought together in one program over 8 weeks. There's a big part of the program is about having the online village as well, where mothers get together and really share. It's a very close circle. We have a community manager, Jackie, in there, as well as myself, really supporting the mothers through the journey. And what I find by the end of 8 weeks is that mothers don't want to stop. So a number of them are resitting this time as well as we prepare for level 2, so we can keep going with this work.
And look, and including me too. Like I can't wait to join in again. I've had a taste of it, and to experience it more fully.
Oh, fantastic, Kate. Thank you.
Yeah,
Happy to have you there.
Also, you've been very generous in offering some bonus material for my program, Our Happy Children, Maria, which I'm really, really excited about, because I think it's, will be very supportive to my program and to people that are the mums that are in there.
Yes.
So thank you very much for that too. It's going to be a great addition to what I'm delivering as well. Like it's just awesome. So I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. Yeah.
And thank you so much for your time. It's been great chatting to you and catching up again.
Yeah. Thanks, Kate. And also I've got an audio meditation for the mothers.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So we'll share that too.
Yeah.
And, that's great. And we talked about that. It's going to be really practical in helping shift the mental load.
Well, it's basically, I think it's 13 minutes, and mums can just, if they feel like they can just give themselves 13 minutes in the day and just lie down and listen to the meditation, it will really help them reconnect with themselves. So that's my gift. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
And your dulcet tones are so beautiful to listen to too.
Good. Thanks, Kate.
Thanks so much, Maria. Take care.
You too. Yeah.